logically, more and more people want to become digital nomads, because it makes perfect sense. I'm right now in a camper van in Portugal. I can do whatever I want. I can go wherever I want. And if worst comes to worst, I either sell it or put it in a container, ship it somewhere. And now with everything that's going on in the world, it makes more and more sense to become super independent, hyper independent of whatever's going on there, because you cannot trust institutions anymore. You cannot trust certain countries anymore. You cannot trust your government anymore. You cannot trust even your neighbors anymore. It's like you have to become hyper independent, and for that it makes perfect sense to become a digital nomad, and or at least be in that position to become it anytime when you're ready. And that's why I'm starting to offer any person who is smart enough to say, okay, I really want to learn how this works, and I want to know the intricacies, and I want to know how to build this into something that, helps me and my family, or where I can just get to know the world and I'm not stuck in a normal corporate job where they can ask me anytime. So I think I'm onto something, because I literally have all the knowledge that anyone could ever need in order to do that, and I'm gonna start to share that with you. And yeah, one of the things, for example, like it said, is the positioning. You need to position yourself in order what I need, what I want, not what the market wants, not what I think that the market wants. Because for whatever you really want, whatever you truly need, if you match your business around that, there is a large enough market somewhere on the world, on the internet, that fits exactly that. And the good thing is, then you come into a position where it will constantly match your energy as to what you want and not what the market wants. Because you could, for example, like I said, you could be a doctor and have everyday patients, but you're working with sick people. Do you really want to work with sick people, even though you have the talent or you whatever? So you gotta really look at what you truly want from the heart, from intuition. It might be the perfect job for you, don't get me wrong. So but a lot of people just fit into some kind of job because it's being demanded from them at that moment in time. But I'm telling you, you can. The world is so big now with all these people on the internet. You can create a market just around your needs. It sounds counterintuitive, as if you've done business studies or something like that, but it really works nowadays. And this is what you have to do, is think about what your needs are and match and create a business that perfectly matches those needs. And gives a high probability that any kind of contact that you have with people is going to be positive. Because if you're, for example, if you're a shoe salesperson, okay, and you have your own store, you're fixed to that location. Unless you open a lot of stores, you're fixed to that location. And let's say you want to travel, how are you gonna, then you work 10 months of the year in order for travel for 2 months or 1 month. Most of the time, if you have a store, you cannot even leave. So I'm going to show you how to position yourself in a way that fits your needs and determines, and you figure out your needs exactly with me, and then match that business to that, and in a way that gives you absolute hyper independence. And so we're going to talk a lot about that. Now, I talk a lot about passive income, because I don't believe in one-on-one coaching, in the sense, I'm not saying it's bad. The problem with one-on-one coaching is that most people nowadays are toxic and problematic, and you don't want to deal with these problematic individuals on an individual basis. Some of them might be super nice, but eventually, if they're not cleared with themselves, something will surface, and you will be like, oh, I don't like this client. It's a problematic client. And like with every business, you have problematic clients. Whereas if you build a passive income business, you're only dealing with lower. You're dealing only with lower ticket items that that are easily returnable, and they don't cause you much of a headache. But imagine like you've done, some consultation for 10,000, and the person doesn't want to pay it. You have an outstanding receivable, and then you go into all this bullshit around it, and whatever, and or somebody wants to sue you for. Nobody's going to sue you for 20, 30, $40 tickets, like item tickets. Even if it's 500, it's highly unlikely, and can instantly return it if you sell a lot of them daily. You don't even have to worry about it. Imagine, for example, you do a retreat center, and because of COVID or whatever, or any kind of situation arises, and suddenly you get 80% of cancellations, or you get 20-30% cancellation, and you have the cost of the retreat center that you booked, as an example. It's just, in nowadays, where you have the option to go completely passive, and do smaller ticket items, it doesn't make any sense anymore. So we're going to talk about that as well. And I'm going to start to launch the PDFs, which you can find on firestart.me. And also you get those for free in the membership club. And yeah, so we're going to talk about all of that stuff.